because I'm a parent myself, and I believe the NPP is on a certain elaborate agenda to even confuse us.
Oh, gosh.
Now, first and foremost, today is 1st October.
Okay.
A very sad day in the lives of most Ghanaians as we speak. Tariffs have increased.
Okay.
Electricity has gone up by whatever percentage. Water has gone up. Not long ago, lorry fares had gone up. Petrol price is in a race with the dollar rate. And as we speak, if you pick your phone to make a call now, the communication service tax you're going to be charged is 50% increment. If you try to calculate the average cost of living has risen by about 3.7%. And that is a great disaster. That was not the Ghana working again we were promised. But unfortunately, in the midst of this haze, when we are trying to wrap our head around the hardship that has been imposed on us, a certain insensitive government, a certain government that does not want to value our tradition and culture as Africans and Ghanaians, have decided to go backdoor. Backdoor, because you recall some time back, a sitting president of this country, in the name of His Excellency, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, was on the international stage at Al Jazeera during an interview. When asked about the homosexuality, he said frankly that it was bound to happen. It had to take the whole nation to come and put fire.
That was in a context.
You see, with all due respect, Justice, don't be fooled. And don't allow ourselves to also be fooled. I listened to my brother very well. And let us get something clear. When we talk of sex, we are talking of your body. When we talk of gender, we are referring to who you feel you are. Now, when we talk of sexuality or sexual orientation, it's about whom you are attracted to. We are talking about sexuality, not sex. So let the viewers not be confused by the NPP propaganda by trying to turn everything around now.
Now, let me ask you this question.
Let
me ask you this question, Eli.
Yes.
What has the president's response on Al Jazeera got to do with introduction of comprehensive sexuality as part of our curriculum?
You see, you can't rule out the fact that the president is the first gentleman of the country.
Okay.
His comments carries weight. And we heard our president say that LGBT legalizing it was bound to happen. It had to take their own communication machinery so much time and effort to try to turn and twist things to now tell us that this was what it meant, as if we did not go to school or we did not understand what it meant to say that it was bound to happen, that in a certain time it will happen. Look, then don't also forget that after that was when we saw a lot of these LGBT activists, especially even the presidents of some countries who we know are gays, etc., visiting this country and all that. Now, there has been some narrative that these are a very strong community, they are very well connected, financially strong. Look, let us break the bone of all that and not fall for it. Now, back to the substantive issue. I was very confused, and I still remain a bit confused as to exactly what the minister is saying, what GES is saying, and all of that. But let me zoom in quickly because we don't have time. The minister continues to lie deliberately, and he continues to insult our intelligence. You know, the NACA document they are talking of is about 370-something page document. If you turn to page 11 of that document,
I think I have the document here.
Page 11 of that document, there was mention of comprehensive sexuality education over there. At page 11, it did state that contemporary issues addressed through the NPCF, gender equality and equity, inclusive education. Then the third one is comprehensive sexuality education. So when you have a minister of education who either is telling us that he is very empty on the job, or he is deliberately misleading the entire nation, then there's disaster looming in the future for us. So
you think that the minister has not been telling Ghanaians the truth?
Look, today it took many of them to even begin to be forwarding these documents out to the media stations. That look, this is a screenshot of this.
I actually received the document. I saw on page 11 comprehensive sexuality education. I think that there's something to hide
and you see,
from the ministry and that of NACA.
Yes, and you see, so did the minister himself not know what he launched some time back? Look, let's get very serious. We are not talking about sex education. Let Ghanaians get that very well. We are not talking about sex education. Let nobody be confused by any MPP or government communicator that sex education, yes, sex education has been part of us. We are talking about comprehensive sexuality education. They have many terminologies for it. Some is age appropriate, whatever. Some they call it cultural appropriate, whatever. That the UN is saying that we should see how to implement it to suit our culture. It doesn't suit. It doesn't fit our cultural education in any way. Let this be stated categorically. What is it about this that is so difficult for this government to let the world know that we are not interested in that? We value our tradition and our culture as Ghanaians or as Africans, and we are holding on to that. So don't be pretending. If someone has gone in for some kind of financial aid, it is best they return it and come to Ghanaians and apologize. We are talking about sexuality. Sexuality is about whom you are attracted to. And if you are saying that I have also cited for you that comprehensive sexuality education has been mentioned in the teacher's pack. Yes. Contrary to what the minister came to lie to the world about today. That is how empty the minister is, or that is how elaborate their plan is to mislead the nation. Now, I have children, and you want to tell me that at this point in our life, when we are so poverty-stricken and corruption is on the rise, and there are so many challenges confronting us as a nation, you rather want us to now go and be teaching our pupils, our children who are 4 years, 5 years, about sexuality? What an immoral government we are having in place. To be teaching my child about sexuality. You see, do you know the disaster in that? It is an agenda by the LGBT community.
What makes it an agenda by the LGBT?
And they have found the best conduit to use, which is this government. Because it has been stated categorically by the late Professor Mills that there is no way he would allow that to happen in Ghana. His Excellency former President John Mahama stated categorically he would not allow that. We only have this government and President Nana Addo Dankwa who has found it very difficult to make a distinct clarification that he stands against that. But rather trying to massage words, it is with the people of Ghana. Does he not know what the decision of the people of Ghana is? Now imagine this. Your children or our children who are 4 years and 10 years begin to have this comprehensive sexuality education. In the next 7 to 10 years, they are teenagers. These are children you are supposed to nurture, bringing up. At the age of 12, 13, 14, 15, your children come home and begin to challenge you about their rights, about whom they are attracted to, about what they have learned in school. Can you even imagine that your child who is 5, 6, or 7 years get to learn about sexuality, about whom I'm attracted to, and then if you are not careful, you may even be having incest in your house? Because children are very, very curious. Why is it that in Ghana, for 15 years now, we have been preaching abstinence in order to help reduce the HIV infection rate? Now you want to go and teach them about what? How free they can have the right to choose whom to be attracted to. So that, look, gender is decided at birth. That is one thing the NDC believes in. When you are born either male or female by those your reproductive organs. That is period. Let nobody be deceived. And you see, now don't be surprised government is trying to make a U-turn to make it look like we have no knowledge. Why did we even waste the taxpayers' money on this exercise in the first place if you had no intention of implementing it? How much was spent on this whole exercise? How much effort was spent on it? Look, for God's sake, credit Ghanaians with some level of intelligence. And we cannot continue to be taking these things. When, like I'm telling you, today is 1st October, if I pick my phone to call now, I am charged at a 50% increment through communication service tax. The water bill you'll be paying at the end of this month is going up. The electricity bill has gone up. Lorry fares have gone up. So is petrol price every now and then. And if you are even going out there to transact business, ever since the vice president told us that he had arrested the dollar has rather become a fugitive. These are daily bread matters we should be talking about, not about an immoral government trying to come and coerce us because it has connived with a certain western part of some people to coerce us into believing that we are coming to give you sex education. Look, give us more moral education, religious and moral education, and that will help our children to even know more when they grow. Not this CSE. Don't forget that in Croatia, in Ontario, in Canada, and other countries, they have rejected this with the hashtag say no to CSE. And that is no different from what the case is in Ghana. I believe strongly that Ghanaians are disappointed in President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his government for all these kind of things that is going on. It is unacceptable and very immoral. Ghanaians do not accept this. Now see, the whole thing about this is to begin to indoctrinate you and I about our culture from the base. Like the Bible says, teach a child the best way to grow and he will never depart from that. So they want to indoctrinate us, and that they believe they should do from the base. Because they have tried and publicly we have rejected it. So they are trying to sneak this in. In the first place, they are still failed to be able to tell you and I why CSE found its way into page 11 of that document. Now, don't also forget, I am saying that sex is different from sexuality. And that is the confusion the NPP government machinery wants to create in our minds. You cannot tell me that you have done sex education and it is the same as comprehensive sexuality education. Sexuality is about whom you are attracted to, and sex is about your own body. So we have had sex education, we have had religious and moral education, which have all built us up justice. Did we just come out from space? Didn't we go to primary and nursery and JHS ourselves?
Very well.
So where from this alien culture that somebody wants to introduce to us, and after we have caught their way to rather tell us that, you see, it was not that, it is not this. What has this got to do with NDC propaganda? Did the NDC manufacture the 378-page document that you came up with? How? So when people are talking, look, I got this from a teacher from the northern region.
I'm telling you,
so if now you think that you can easily sit and say, oh, and the NBC is insulting 152, and you are saying that a director has reached the pinnacle of his career. The PPA boss, was he at the pinnacle of his career when he did that? So please, we can mention a lot of names who have reached whatever levels, and they are the reason we are in the